All right, I'll call the February 20th DRB meeting to order. First is agenda changes. Just under decision deliberations, I'll probably switch that since I have to recuse myself on the Michael Place. Anybody else have anything else? All right, if everybody can review the minutes of February 6th.
I'll make a motion to accept
Okay,
as
I got a couple. Scott W, on page 3, Scott W said expressed, I think take the set out.
I'm sorry. Say again?
It starts with Scott W, it's the last sentence on, before the Michael Place thing. Last paragraph, sorry.
Yeah.
Starts with Scott W, where it says Scott W said expressed. I think take the set out. And,
And actually, I see, instead of web above it, I should just put a Scott W as well.
sure. And on the next page, where he said that the proposed project would have 1 3-bedroom single family, da da da. He said that each residential would have an on-site mound septic system. I think it's each unit. Is that right? Not
Each unit, yeah.
each unit instead of residential. Yeah, each unit.
So I should probably say that each residential, and throw in the word unit.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Residential unit. That'd be fine.
Yeah, that's,
okay.
that
All right.
was,
There's actually 3 mound systems, wasn't there?
Yeah. So each residential unit. So that there's 3 units.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 duplex, 1 with 2 units, and
Yep.
a separate one. And then on the next one, just take access. You got right of way to access to Place Road. Just take one of the 2s out.
where are we?
Either one you want. Next paragraph down.
Okay. 50-foot right-of-way
To access to Place Road.
to access.
Yeah, just
Take out the second T.
Yeah, sure. That'd be great.
Access place
That'd be
roadway.
good. Yep.
All right, good.
That's it.
All right, thank you.
All right,
It's all yours.
okay. Make a motion to accept as amended.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, up next is Catamount Malone, review of proposed site plan amendment. You are up.
Hi, I'm Abby Derry. I'm here from Trudell Consulting Engineers, and I am representing Catamount Malone Hinesburg LLC on the request to extend the construction deadline of that landscape island in the parking area. It was supposed to be done 1 year from the last approval, which was at the end of February. And given they wanted a little more time to see how the truck backing and the deliveries would work within the parking area. And they missed the construction season. It became late fall, the holidays, and now we're at construction time. And they would like to install this island in this coming construction season. So they're requesting the deadline be, I think it's end of June this year. In the island, they're proposing 2 honey locusts and some sumac landscaping to match what's there now in the other islands. I did see they need to add landscaping to the island that they put in this summer. That will be done in the spring planting season. Within those 2 islands, the one that was recently installed and then the one they're proposing, they would like to put in solar LED fixtures similar to the ones that are in the gravel parking area to the south. And those are the pictures that I just circulated of what's existing now. I guess the way the parking layout, it's gonna shift to the east a few feet because they wanted that center island a little bit wider to accommodate deliveries. And the new distance between, oh, thanks for the pointer.
Yeah, let's see if, there you go. This particular island here,
Yeah.
unless,
Yeah.
if you'd like to, it's a little, it's the red button over here that actually pushes the light.
Okay. Trying to blind anybody. This is the existing right here. It's shifting over to the east. This distance remains 24 feet for 2-way circulation. That is the proposal. Any
Well, actually, I think you might want to mention,
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. So to replace the 2 parking spaces,
4 parking
the
spaces.
4 parking spaces that we removed to accommodate the island and a hatched area, they would like to add those 4 spaces down to the existing gravel parking area to the south.
So maybe just some clarity for just ease of understanding. So these lights, 4 of them in an array like that, it's not going to compromise the solar aspects of them, I assume. You know, in terms of just the way they are placed back to back, and I guess the way the lights are oriented. Have they thought through that? Because it looks like an array of 4, so I guess there'd be 2 south facing, 2 south facing, and then which way would the lights be?
It's just a single, so if you...
I think you're looking at shrubs.
Okay, the
Right.
4 array there, is it, I see 4
Can you
RHA
just go back to
Where are the lights going?
in the center of the island, is that right?
Yeah.
There's one that you're showing
So, right,
here
so-
and one that's,
yeah.
go.
I can't point with this, I'm sorry. Just follow my finger. It's great. So the light fixture is the
The
square.
battery can.
The
There's
symbol,
one.
yeah.
All right, so
Thank
there is
you,
only
you got
one
it.
light.
Yeah, there's one light in each island. The 4 circles, RHAs, those are the sumac.
Gotcha, thank
The
you.
battery came out, that's what happened.
All right, and then, so we're not illuminating at all it's all the parking area that's being illuminated, not the road or the sidewalks.
Yeah, this is the head and the
Yeah.
bottom is the pole, so it
Okay.
faces out over the parking.
And,
There's already one in this.
There's one right here, yep.
yeah,
So how does the 4 parking spaces that are moving to the overflow lot there's no lighting to that overflow parking?
There is lighting right now, and I don't see the need for more. There's this fixture right here, can capture those, and 2 spaces. And
Is the walkway lit?
yeah, this is lit, right here. There's a fixture that's not shown, an existing fixture that's not shown on the plan, right here. And I just drove out there and it lights this walkway. Or the crosswalk, rather. There's a fixture here, so there is light from the gravel parking area up to the building.
So those lights are purely solar, there's no wiring at all?
Mhm.
I'll just say incidentally, I don't really find that anyone uses the traffic as represented circulation wise. I feel like there's people that keep coming in the out and out the in.
Up over where we have the one-way arrows.
Right. I'm wondering if it would make sense, I mean, this isn't part of the plan, but just as additional information to put like a one-way. There's a do not enter sign on the back side to come out, but I feel like if there ever was more information when you pulled in, potentially, that it was a one-way, that might be helpful. You know what I mean? So when you pulled in, you were already thinking, wow, I can't go back out this way. Because no one does that, right? Except, I mean, maybe they do when I'm not there.
Well, you do, right?
Yes, I do. And I
just said no one.
I shake my fist at them driving the wrong way at me.
So it's one person that does it,
Yeah,
right?
one person.
All right.
Yeah, in
I
practice.
never get a place up there. I have to park out back, usually further down.
Okay, so, yeah, a one-way sign here.
No,
or
I was
here.
thinking actually like a one-way back down where the hand is.
Here,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a landscape architect or
right.
engineer, but it's just, I think by the time they see the do not enter, they're already
going the
there.
wrong way.
Yeah.
That's something, I can pass that on to the landowner.
Yeah,
Is
I
that-
mean, it may be a moot point. Maybe it's just a funny time that I'm there that people are driving the wrong way.
could probably add that it would, it's rather congested there during some times, and so some improvement to the signage could make that more efficient.
Yep.
So,
Is there a
And I
reason?
think that's even gonna be more important as you're changing the, it might make it worse actually, because most people are leaving through that, so now there's even gonna be more people that have to leave through a smaller space.
Is that island I'm a little confused about the size of that island and how it seems like it's bigger than the one to the left and,
This one?
yeah, the new one.
This one, it's identical to this one. It's just a boulder line type and the landscaping, and then right here is a saw cut line. So it's,
Okay.
I know because I copied and pasted it. It is the same dimension.
And is it intended to, like, it looks like it's in line with the drive coming in, and then the one on the left is inset?
Yeah, so it was lined up so that this is 24 feet and this is 24 feet also for two-way. This is wider.
Isn't this supposed to be a future road or something?
Yeah, and 24 feet, that's fine. Eventually, it's actually gonna be a one-way. I'm not sure exactly which way that's gonna, or part of, actually, this will be a two-way. This area here, but once you get past where it goes down, it's gonna be a one-way.
I guess it's just odd that the island to the left is inset then.
No, it's just, actually, it's kind of an optical illusion, the darker colors and line weights, yeah. It makes it look bigger.
It's still 24 feet down, next one down,
The road jogs over, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
road that jogs over.
right?
Got it.
Road's kind of
Yeah.
big.
So that road is still private at this point?
Yes.
Yep, that's what the property line should.
So just a thought for signage that might help direct is at the end where it shows snow storage is like, a sign outside the parking lot, but in like an arrow point, instead of just having arrows on the pavement that you can't see half the year. If you had a sign like here with a, so that as you're driving this way, you see the sign and it's like an arrow pointing that way to direct you out of the parking lot around that way. I don't know.
Because there are do not enter signs in a couple of spots.
Just right there though, by the hand, like it really
Yeah.
is the fact that people are already there and
There's two here, and there's also a do not enter here to stop people from coming this way.
The point is, it's too late once you come over there, once you drive over there.
Yeah, I'm just mentioning that.
Yeah.
that's-
no, and they're kind of tiny.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't pay attention to them if I drove over there. I would just keep going. I gotta say. What are you gonna do?
Once you got three cars behind you.
Yeah, what are
waiting
you
to
gonna do,
pull out.
back up? Yeah, down, yeah, it's not gonna work.
If
No.
I could, with the overall site plan review, if you could look back at the drop-off in front of the public house. I'm not sure that's really being enforced. People do park there. And also it can be a hindrance if they are parked for access to the water for fire apparatus. So I think that should be looked at.
I'll pass that on to Larry.
And then, Abby, is it just the number of parking spaces that are being added to the gravel lot? Is that because of the number of parking spaces that were required through local permitting and they're just being repeated? Or is that your decision to, because more parking is needed, it's your own decision?
We were at, with the last couple of applications we've been through, we've been replacing spaces that we've taken out for islands, one for one. So that was just a swap with this application too.
All right, board members have any other questions? I don't think anybody's here from the public.
I move to close the public hearing, direct staff to draft conditions of approval.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, up next is Bruce Wheeler, final plat review for proposed two-lot subdivision.
Bruce,
How you doing?
Bruce here with me to help me, and we think we're all set for this review. I did just file today for record recorded the easement from the Rileys across the corner of their lot, so that's recorded.
Okay.
And the wastewater permits recorded.
What you're seeing on the plan up there, the building envelope on the new lot is shown in the, just off the end of Windswept Way in the upper right corner of lot number 2. And then there's a building envelope that was requested around the built structures. And I had an email saying, make it as large as you need it, so I don't know it's needed, but there is a building envelope around the existing structures that are tied right to the dwelling and the garages as far as dimensions are concerned. And that gives 100 feet to the south and similar to the east from the house and a shorter distance to the west. It takes in the area generally that avoids the real steep on the west side of the lot, but the map that we have in the town plans shows spots here and there that might be over. It's really no plan for expanding it, but I showed that. This is a general enclosure of the space that could be used for something. With, a condition saying to avoid any particular steep portions within that certainly would be appropriate. If it's felt to be too much, I question, personally having a building envelope around the built environment, but have people come in at the time and ask specifically for where they would like to enlarge and make the case. But that's my stab at it, and that stays well away from any neighbor. Far exceeds any setbacks from any property lines, and it's surrounded by woodland. The most critical line to think about in that envelope around the existing structures is to the west. It does get steep on that side. There is some space to the west of the
Saying this area
house,
over here, right?
yeah, and a little bit to the west of the garage that might be used, but that side, clearly you know when you're getting steep there. And the dividing line between the two lots, it's at the base of the steeper slopes. There is the utility lines leave the end of Windswept Way and cross the upper right corner of the lot number 2. There is a 20-foot easement that was granted to the utility company for the underground lines. That is an existing easement and will be in the deed.
Battery falls out.
Will be in the deed for lot, just show just how much right up in here, this power line, it will be retained to the benefit of lot 1 when lot 2 is sold. The right to repair, replace, and whatever there. I did not show that, I show where the lines are. There's a bit of a dip in the ground where things were backfilled through there, you can tell. And the easement exists. It's not something to be built later. It's simply, it's there now. and it can be located with the electronic finders. Also up there, the right here in this area, the easement from Riley, we cuts on a diagonal across there, and we show a line 50 feet from it crossing the corner of the lot number 2. That is the 50-foot width required. The driveway itself, as you can see, is up closer to the new easement line, and the likelihood of expanding any road surface into the upper corner of Lot 2 is not very likely. Not needed for the driveway purposes. One feature that we have, what may or may not be a vernal pool to the west of the building envelope on Lot 2. That's going to be tested this spring. We have to see if there are any critters living in the thing during the early springtime. And a decision on the existence or not of that particular feature will be determined by the wetlands people and the wetland specialist that did the plotting of these areas. That's Jeff Severson. If they don't find that that meets the criteria for a vernal pool, the 50-foot buffer that's shown around it won't be effective. It will at the most be an unprotected Class 3 wetland, or it may simply disappear from the wetland people's chart. This other wetland area to the south, they've already determined that that wasn't of sufficient size to be Class 2. It's Class 3 designation, again unprotected. But the building envelope we show is 50 feet from it regardless. Okay. The general lay of the land off that building envelope drains to the south. It would drain towards that wet area, and that is actually a rather interesting feature. It's rather cobbled up with stones, and it's wet around them, and it's almost as though you rip-wrapped it in the first place. So it will function as filtering whatever comes that way, but if whatever happens with the driveway coming in through here into the lot, building area, the drainage, whatever is picked up there and headed and directed towards the wetland will run through a stone apron to filter things. Grades there are under 5%, so it won't be gathering very much at that point.
Are you proposing a lot clearing only at the building envelope?
They'll be clearing at the envelope, and over on the west side on this portion of the lot is where the septic is proposed. And so that area, there's a mound proposed up there and approved by the state. And so that mound area will be cleared, and but generally the bulk of the lot will remain wooded.
How close are the houses to, I don't know, my north, south, east, west, to our right?
Okay, the neighbor to the north of route of Lot 2, you can see the home there, right here.
Oh, okay.
And their driveway comes in near the property line. And then to the north of Lot 1,
I don't have a location map that might help.
yeah,
I just wondered as far as lot clearing, if how close their houses are, if we should be putting that into a decision.
well,
For-
there will be trees on their land and trees on this property that,
There you go.
okay. So we're talking about a house site right in here on Lot 2. And the house on the neighbor is over here. And the built structure is here on Lot 1. And the structure on Riley is up here. And there's a fair amount of woods on Riley. Some of which went down in the windstorm, but there's still woods between the two. And then they have a rather large opening around their home. And this one here is a little bit more limited around their house. Next home is up here, etc. There's gonna be wood buffer between everybody. Other than that, the Homeowners Association, you have in your packet a draft for a road association that will be applied to these two lots that are being approved. The Homeowners Association all the way up through to the road, they've been participating in for years. It is an unwritten mutual agreement between the neighbors. It's got a label to it, Hidden Hill Road Association. They've been paying their dues. They never recorded any papers, but they have a functioning mechanism for collecting money and paying for the road. What is drafted and in the packet that will be recorded commits Bruce, who's been part of this for all these years, to stay involved in the association, and the people on the new lot will do the same. And it's written in the fashion you've approved before to allow anybody else to join if they want to.
How many people are on that?
Is 19 or 20 altogether? It has treasurer and road commissioner.
I mean, yeah, those are all the properties that are on Windswept? and
Yeah,
The part of,
windswept, and then the other Obi Ridge that
Obi Ridge.
goes down beyond.
yep,
And this Hidden Hill label on the association, it had been, Obi Ridge Road had been called Hidden Hill Road originally.
Any of the board members have any other questions? Nobody's here from the public.
I
No
guess the
public
staff
present.
report had mentioned something about the building envelope on the built lot not having any references to things other than the buildings themselves. And it sounded like a reasonable thing to me as well, that you wouldn't necessarily, didn't seem like you'd want to tie those to a structure that might not always be there.
Well, just looking at the topography, I mean, I understand what George is doing, it makes a lot of sense. The only thing is, it's just, I guess, from a theoretical line, you could possibly add something in that.
What I can
was
do
just-
for each of them is to add a couple tie lines to monuments.
Okay.
Point being, though, that you're not, well, it's gonna be a survey project to use them because they're not visible from the corners of the envelope, just the terrain and the like. So you're not gonna occupy a point, backside anything. Simply, you'd run between points whatever, but I will show them.
Okay.
If you wish, it's not a problem.
Will we get a chance at some point when the building gets sold and redeveloped? Because just the topography and stormwater management and all that, that will be something later on. Obviously, this is just subdivision, correct? Just because the topography of this all looks, I'm looking at a map, an aerial, and it just, there's an adjacent property kind of to the south, almost where you can imagine maybe water, and depending on the amount of clearing on that lot too.
I really didn't see any issues.
Okay.
It's a long distance.
It's a long distance?
Yeah,
Okay. It's hard to understand the scale looking at, I'm just looking at a,
Yards, maybe, it's a
Okay.
long ways.
all right.
It's almost down to the road that goes up by Iroquois.
So the answer is you won't get another.
Right, okay. But as long as, yeah, I guess that property boundary to the south is quite far away. All right.
It is, and essentially in the proposal is the, complying with the erosion control standards and all of that during
Yep.
construction and runoff. There's a huge filter between where new development will happen that's already there, but the requirements are silt fence, all that stuff, stabilizing the site, getting any condensed drainage to filter through riprap and the like, and keep the velocity down. And that's not super steep up there that would cause anything.
Yeah,
to come in.
the aerial that I was looking at wasn't as clear as this distance is pretty substantial.
And the built lot isn't anticipating any redevelopment. The notion there, somebody's gonna come in, like the structures that are there, there's the house, there's a garage with a loft area over it, there's a fairly nice shed on the opposite side of the driveway, and there's a tiny,
Everything I could build in 40 years is there.
yeah, tiny playhouse for the kids, 10 by 10 with a little porch on it, so.
Well, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and direct staff to write a decision of approval.
Second. Sorry, yeah, second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, we're on to other business. A few sketch plan approval extension requests.
Yeah, let me just update you a little bit on that. Basically, these are the four extension requests that have been held up by issues with the town water system, which I think there is currently a zero allocation. And oftentimes then I say I have no further news, but I do have news. The allocation amounts have been submitted to the select board at yesterday's meeting, and they're planning to approve and finalize and approve the amounts in their second meeting in March. First meeting being town meeting day, and then they'll meet 2 weeks later, and should be finalizing those numbers. And the draft numbers that I've seen are in excess of 33,000 gallons per day. This is water and sewer. There's actually available sewer that exceeds the water, but they of course would only give out as much sewer as they have water, and they're still not going to have to deal with the phosphorus and the other types of things on that particular level.
And this includes the water that Black Rock's bringing, right?
No, this is
Does not.
separate. This is separate from that.
Oh.
And then, of course, as you know, the Black Rock project as well, that, could potentially add enough water for all of these different projects in full build out, potentially. So,
But we don't have that much sewer, so.
yeah. Well, that's when sewer will become an issue, but getting more users online, from what I've told, would be the benefit that could possibly make all these other things happen. So,
Okay.
do you want to do them individually?
Sure.
All right, might as well start with Haystack Crossing.
Move to extend Teresa Giro Local Living Trust for 6 months.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
WinRG Partners?
Move to approve 6-month extension for Wind NRG.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hinesburg Center?
Move to
Two.
approve 6 months extension.
I'll second that as well.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do I need to abstain, just on the record?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
abstaining as well.
Haystack Crossing?
We
Actually,
already did that one.
you did that one. You haven't done
We
Teresa
started with
Giro.
Teresa.
No,
We did that
We
first.
started with Teresa.
Oh, I heard
I
Haystack.
think you said
Who's
haystack,
Haystack?
but he started with Teresa.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I heard Haystack first, so I was.
I'll tell you what. If you do,
I wonder why
if you
you're
do a
abstaining
Ted
for that.
moved and a Dick second and a John S. Well, are you going to be abstaining on that one?
On Haystack. And
Not on
Hinesburg.
Teresa.
On
Not
Giro.
on Teresa, not on Teresa's or Wind Energy.
All right. Anyway, so you start. All right. Let me.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
All right, just give me one moment here just to catch up. I don't know if people notice I'm kind of doing a double duty here. Okay, so first one was Giroux, and now you want to do Haystack. Go ahead.
Move to approve a 6-month extension for Haystack Crossing.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And abstain.
Okay.
I wondered why you were abstaining for Teresa. I thought, well, maybe he wasn't on or something. Didn't know anything about
Yeah, I
it.
don't, did you have to be on it?
All right, decision deliberations.
Well, start
Jerry
with
Willett and Deborah Campbell?
Willett and Campbell.
Decisions.
I thought it was well written and thorough.
Final plat, number 2. So this is Willett. Okay, the only thing I saw in Willett was just a awkward wording. In conclusion, I think it is conclusion 6, third sentence where it's replacement of culvert with an engineered designed culvert. Would that be engineer designed or
Number 6.
engineered?
Engineered.
But then
Sizing.
designed shouldn't be.
Yeah. Engineering design culvert.
Engineered should be typically.
Engineered culvert sizing. How about that?
Or culvert design, engineered culvert design.
Sure.
Okay.
Where is that?
It's really selection more than design, isn't it? No.
Yeah, there's not much of a
Actually,
design
you're gonna have
to
to
it.
give me one
Right.
moment. Catch
So
up
it's
here a little bit.
conclusion 6 is where I
Conclusion
was at.
6.
Third sentence.
All right, let's see.
An awkward wording is all.
Where did I put you?
Specification, culvert specification.
Yeah. By the proposed.
Oh wait, this is.
Is order 3 clear? Is the meaning of that clear?
You know, actually, I'm
That the
finding.
pipe needs to daylight?
Oh wait a second. I'm sorry. All right.
There you go, Mitch.
Sorry about that. You're talking about order number 6?
No, sorry. I was talking conclusion 6.
Yeah, sorry,
All right, that's, okay. Now
So
makes
where
a
it
little-
says with an engineered designed culvert, that, how did you word it? And then, you didn't say suggested.
Engineered culvert specification.
Oops.
Yeah.
Okay,
that
so with a engineered culvert or design?
Engineered culvert specification.
Engineered culvert specification?
Yeah, you don't design the culvert, you specify which one to put in there.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. your question was 3.
My comment was
Order
order,
three.
order 3, if that, I think that we as a board wanted that, curtain drain to daylight, and is that clear by that language
Actually,
there?
I would
don't
just
think
add
it
a
is.
sentence as saying, this must
Yeah, I
be
would,
daylighted, or
Is it required that it's daylight?
The
I mean, I
outflow
don't-
heard- we
from
heard- we
proposed
heard
leach
from,
field curtain
um,
shall.
They always are.
They always are.
All right.
Shall
By
have-
definition.
But you know what, I think it might be a good idea to add a word there.
Yeah.
The outflow for the proposed leach field curtain drain shall be daylighted to the south and west of the proposed residence on lot 2.
Yep.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, good.
Or could you almost say the daylight outflow, the daylit outflow? Anyway,
Well, outlaw kind of
would imply that,
imply that, right?
but
Can't hurt to make it clear.
you
Right.
know, because we've heard the argument that it flows but doesn't daylight.
Yep.
That's
yep,
right.
yep. It'll be interesting if we see him back on that, because that seemed a little off the cuff, but it makes sense from a treatment and all that. Yep.
anybody else have any other questions?
I do not.
I would move to approve as amended.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 I abstain, I wasn't on that hearing.
Guess I didn't see any issues.
So I
with
guess
You're leaving,
I'm leaving.
all right?
You didn't have any news and announcements, I didn't switch that on the agenda, but
Just one thing just to mention is that, and I'll mention this again, just to make it, the next meeting, we're planning some, the words just popped out, some training, some things on the town plan and the DRB. There will be one hearing that will be part of it, that we've scheduled, a very, hopefully a very quick one. Somebody who wanted to build an accessory apartment, but before getting a CO and all that, they then wanted to do an exterior alteration by adding a deck, which brings it to the board here since it's an exterior. So you'll have that at the next meeting. And, yeah. And that's, yeah. I'll repeat it again also, but yeah.
It's not just a zoning,
Yeah, I don't,
adding a
If
deck
it
to your
doesn't,
house.
if you don't change, if you use an existing structure and don't change the exterior, outside of like a window, a door, or something like that, it's a zoning permit. But if you happen to add something, if you expand it, if you build a brand-new structure, if you expand an existing structure. and-
Only in combination with an accessory apartment.
Right, in that situation.
so build the
So-
deck first is the
there you go.
lesson.
Yeah.
If they built it, got a
'Cause that would've been
CO,
fine.
then came back for
Right.
a deck, then actually they would not necessarily have to go through, but they really want to
Does
do it
the
in a hurry.
deck
so-
even service the apartment?
It
Yes,
must,
It
or
does,
they wouldn't
okay.
come in.
yes.
Okay.
Actually, they could have gotten a permit for the deck, built the deck, got a CO for the deck, then
Yeah.
come in for, actually then do the accessory apartment, and then they wouldn't have to come, well,
All right.
anyway. But they want to do it in this particular way, and I think they're just very motivated to get it done quickly, so, anyway.
So
You'll
you're
see that.
recusing yourself and turning the gavel over to your.
Oh, Yep.
Okay.
guys have a good night.
Right.
Aye.
Happy sugar.
Yeah.
All right,
Tomorrow,
so
tomorrow.
Michael Place sketch plan approval is on the table.
I have no
I
comments.
did not see anything.
No.
It looked pretty good to me.
Yep.
So are
Do
there
we have
any
a-
comments?
Yep. No comments?
Unless you have one.
No, then I'll make a motion to accept.
Okay, motion to approve is written. Any seconds?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Very good. All right. So I think that ends our meeting for the day.
Okay. Move to adjourn.
Second. Not
Okay.
required, but
Not required.
just make it official.
Yep.